Our destination?
Cutting the cake.
Let's go for a ride.
Welcome to Girls Trip. I'm a little sad that this has come to an end.
I promise you it's not as sad as I am.
Because this was actually really
This was so fun.
I have had
to plan.
the best week ever. I'm being honest. Like, I've never done anything Pride and Prejudice themed. Obviously, I knew you guys were going to do something. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, they're going to make me diagnose someone. Like,
No, we're gonna go that route.
they're gonna find like different murderers and make me like figure out like what type of disease they have. And I really did not know didn't even think you would go down this route, and I couldn't be any happier. I'm so happy.
So let's start there, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Before, now that if you've been with us for this week, you have seen all the nods that we've done to Pride and Prejudice. But give us a little insight.
Okay.
Like, whatever question you want to answer, but like, do you remember the first time you read it? What about the book makes you want to keep coming back to it? Like, what's where did this love come from?
So my whole Jane Austen love did not start with the books. It started with the most recent Pride and Prejudice movie.
Okay.
And I watched it. I remember where I was when I first watched it. I was over at my friend's house, and I was probably 16.
Okay.
And I remember thinking, I have no idea what's going on right now.
You're like, what's happening?
Like, we're 3/4 of the way through the movie, and I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Because you really have to, if you're watching it for the first time, I highly recommend watching with subtitles, because they talk so
There's a
fast
lot
and
of
their
quick
accents
banter.
are so thick and the banter is so fast that you're like, you're missing a lot. And the story is very complex in that there's so many characters.
Okay.
So the movie leaves a lot out, actually, because there's so many different characters and they have so many different motivations, and they're like not actual villains, but yet they're complicated. Like, it's not easy to like that. I think that's why I loved it so much, because I was confused by it. And I was like, I don't know what to make of this. And then actually I tried reading the book by itself. And I made it like 3 chapters, and I was like, this is too difficult to read. Again, I'm 16 at the time. I was like, this is too difficult. Then maybe a year later, so maybe right before graduation, definitely, because I got my license, and then I really got into like books on tape, or books on tape, like audiobooks. And Pride and Prejudice is one of those like podcasts, like someone had it in a free podcast. And I was like, oh, let me try it, because I loved the movie, even though it was so complicated. I didn't know what was going on, but I loved like the style of it. And the audiobook opened it up for me. Elizabeth Klatt, she did the voice, and she is an incredible voice actress. And if you go on like your podcast, Apple Podcast, you go and you type in Elizabeth Klatt, she'll do Pride and Prejudice, obviously, Emma, Sense and Sensibility, and then also Charlotte Bronte. She'll do why am I blanking on the book?
Wuthering Heights.
But the main, why am I blanking? Jane Eyre.
Jane Eyre.
She does.
I also blocked that out. So
Another one of my all-time favorites, Jane Eyre. And not only that, but there's French-speaking people in like Jane Eyre, and she does the accents and the actual language perfectly.
So it was like,
so she brought it to
she
life.
brought it
for
you. You were
life
able
for
to
me.
really
I
process
really
it. Yeah.
absorbed it. And then after I read it that way, I was like, I can get back into the book again. Then I read the book again. Then I watched the movie again, and I was like, this story is awesome. So that was the inception.
Question for you: have you ever seen the 6-hour BBC?
The BBC one.
Yeah.
So I watched that.
6 hours.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It's like I guess it's
like a miniseries.
It's a miniseries.
Yeah.
I saw that years later with my mom, even though it's definitely older.
Yeah.
But I watched it with my mom, and I'm in love with the music for the original,
Yes,
for the
from the
movie,
first,
most
yeah.
recent one.
It's different. It's a very different way of
just
going about the
They
story.
definitely romanticized what it was like to live back then, because everything's beautiful, everything is serene, and the score is unbelievable. So nothing will ever live up to that for me. So it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
But I'm also like,
it breaks down the story, I guess. That's why it was more helpful.
Yeah, it
more,
definitely there's more to it.
Yeah.
In that, because it's so much longer. So it's I guess it lends itself better to the story because there's more involved. But the movie is just like,
That's the one. That's your true love.
it was casted so perfectly. Like I don't think it'll ever be beat. So
Okay.
Which is unusual, right? I feel like a lot of times if you do both the book and the movie, or people are usually disappointed
Yes.
in the movie.
yeah, there's no way around. You're not, especially because a lot of the characters are thinking a lot of things. You can never bring that to light perfectly. It's impossible. So as good as it could be, that movie was as good as it could be.
Okay.
Unless you were there for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
We're not trying to Lord of the Rings this. Like that's not happening.
Saying a lot. So
Totally.
Now,
Loved it.
did your love of this era, this Regency era, the Romantic period, like was that already there, or did it develop because of this whole journey you went on with Pride and Prejudice?
I've always been drawn to stories in that era. I think it's I do think that there's a simplicity to life, but only if you're in the right class at the same time. So
Do you like the layers? You like the layers of those kinds of stories?
I don't necessarily want to be dropped in there. I'm not saying I wish I was in that. I'm not saying I wish I was
just
born there.
reading.
I just find it very fascinating. And the fact that Jane Austen was a female writer with not many female writers, and to be as successful as she got, I find her story extremely inspiring, and I love the women that she wrote about. They're not perfect in any way. They have a lot of issues, but at the end of it, they're very almost all of her, especially her heroines, are always very self-aware.
So I didn't know that any of this, which is why I asked, like, how did the most boring book ever become your favorite?
I'm fascinated by it.
But I think that's so interesting that it wasn't just I read this book and immediately loved
Changed
it,
my life.
and I just kept reading it year after
Yeah.
year. Like, it was kind of this challenge that you took on and had to find like the right entry point. Which I think speaks to so many things in life, but we're talking about reading right now. So I think that says a lot about who you are as a person, and anyone who like maybe thinks that they're not a reader or that, you know, they can't take on something that they don't understand.
Yeah.
That, like try
getting
it a
it a
different
different
way or like give it a chance. Like one, I don't like a lot of Christian fiction, but there is this book series by Liz Curtis Higgs that I read. Oh my gosh, so many years ago. I was probably a teenager. The first one I think is Thorn in Mine Heart or something like that.
Never heard of that.
And oh my God, so it's a fictionalized, dramatized story of Rachel and Leah.
Okay.
So it's like,
I think I remember
it's like
saying this.
rip your heart out and stomp on it and intense.
Yeah.
So well done. But the first one in the trilogy was like tough because it was like, I forget if it was Gaelic or like it had some language in it that I was like, I don't know what they're saying. This is unfamiliar. But I pushed through it, and it's like still my all time like
Yep.
some of the best
Yeah.
writing in books. So
I also feel that way about C.S. Lewis's last novel that he wrote. I believe it was his last novel. You can fact check me on that. Fictional novel was Till We Have Faces, and it's a retelling of Cupid and Psyche's, like as if that was real.
right.
It's like, so it's a retelling of the myth as if it was actually happened. Same thing. Rip your heart out. Same thing where I tried to read it, and we're talking about like with Pride and Prejudice, like it was written over 200 years ago.
Right.
Like our language has changed a lot. It's difficult. So I read 2 or 3 chapters of Till We Have Faces, and I'm like, I can't grasp it. Like I can't, like it's so hard. And then once again, listen to an incredible performance of it. And I've probably listened to that, I don't know, 20 times. I'm not exaggerating. Like that is one of my all-time favorites too. But yeah, I wouldn't let that stop me is what I'm trying to say. Once I have an idea that this is a good story, I'm not going to let my limits of what I can understand stop me from experiencing, I think it's an art appreciation too, like experiencing something beautiful. So like push through that if you have to. Figure out a way to enjoy it.
I love that. Push through. Figure out a way.
Push through, people.
Okay, so I know it's super obvious, and I probably don't even have to say it, but just in case any of you don't know what is happening here, obviously
We have
this
this-
is the wedding cake.
Yeah. Because you have been.
Because we went
With
from
that man.
engagement on Monday, so we're ending, you know,
we
with
had
the
your
wedding.
bachelorette.
Holy cow.
Tea party.
This has been thought out.
Does it look the way I envisioned it to look? No, but we're going
It's
with
beautiful.
it. It's
Okay.
still a 3-tiered cake.
She's tiered. She's tiered.
So we will be cutting into it
I'm
to
ready.
find out what's inside. However, we will be, soaking in each layer with, we see Rebecca has some scrolls over there.
Oh, boy.
So Rebecca, why don't
boy.
you start with, start with the first one and let's open it, because in addition to cutting your cake, we have some Regency style compliments to give the birthday girl.
Whoa, I'm so ready.
I'm really going to try to get in character and say this properly. Okay. I dare say your presence improves the air itself, for the very room seems to breathe more freely when you enter.
The room seems to breathe more freely.
Yes.
The room seems to breathe
Inspiring
more
inanimate
freely
objects. That's
when
what I do.
you enter.
Oh, wow.
Are you feeling like Elizabeth with those compliments?
I don't know how I'm feeling.
I'm not really sure what was in Mr. Darcy's 30-page letter, but I hope it had some
I hope this was in
over the
it,
top
okay?
compliments.
I can tell. I was actually waiting for it. I'm like, maybe they're going to take it straight from the book. And I was like, that was not in there. Absolutely not. But it's the sentiment is sweet.
the sentiment. We're
Yeah.
giving you
Yeah.
our own compliments.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Well, why don't you start with the top tier here?
First layer.
Oh, she heavy. She thick. Okay. Oh, yes. Wait.
Now,
This means more coming from you guys. Okay. So this is a porcelain mug, which looks like it has multiple book titles on it. I don't know if the audience fully grasps how significant it is that they are getting me a mug, because they had to force me to purge so many
many.
beloved
So many.
mugs. Maybe this is your way of getting back in my good graces. I don't know. But wow, this is... I've never seen this type of wrapping before.
This was just, we couldn't leave it behind.
Yeah.
So even though
Guys.
you don't need a mug, we had to.
But I will throw out all my other mugs for
This
this,
is-
one.
this is the new tea mug, okay?
yeah.
I can't put that in the microwave.
No, that'll explode.
But it has some of the favorite titles that
Yeah.
you
Great
just-
Expectations, red. Gulliver's Travels, red. Sense and Sensibility, red. Les Mis, halfway. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, no. The Wind and the Willows have not read. War and Peace, red. Pride and Prejudice, red. Wuthering Heights, red. Little Women, red. The Secret Garden, red. Jane Eyre, red. The Odyssey, I read it in school, not by choice, but red. Wow, guys!
So-
I just have to finish Les Mis. and
That's
then we'll
it.
be there. And The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, guys. And it's tall.
It's tall.
It's gonna.
You
it's
got
a lot of tea and coffee.
You got lattes. You got
Yes.
you got ginger tea.
You got a new accent.
This is great.
So now
Oh,
you
I
have
love it.
you have your candle and your Jane Austen
Yep.
from the beginning of the week.
Yep.
You obviously needed to have some gross tasting tea.
Yep.
If I don't
alongside it.
experience peak joy while reading my book, lighting my candle, drinking my tea, and what was the next one? And wearing my ring.
and wearing your rings, yeah.
I have to accept that will never be fulfilled, because that is peak for me. Guys,
There
this
you
is
go.
great. Thank you.
So off to a good start. You wanna
Love it.
you wanna
Yep.
pass me one here?
Unravel
Let's
the scroll.
see. Let's see what else we truly feel about our birthday girl.
So
Here.
excited.
Yeah, you gotta.
Hear ye, hear ye. Your beauty dazzles like the morning sun.
Ooh.
You're radiating.
Look at that.
Does it melt you as well?
Yes.
Okay, we'll add that in. We'll add that. You may have that one.
So you know,
Dazzles.
we had these.
I would like you to see how she wrote dazzles.
Dazzles.
You know, had to throw in some fake calligraphy.
Oh,
in
that's
there to
beautiful.
make it fancy.
Yep.
All right, let
My
me put
beauty,
away
my, what was the first one about? My air?
your presence.
Your
My
presence
presence.
My
improves
presence.
the air.
Wow, I'm getting
itself.
a big head after today, guys.
All right, I will put
Okay.
this away for you while you cut your next
Cut
tier.
your next half, yeah. So these are all beautifully small travel size. So wherever you go, you always have your fab family
Head
with you.
to toe.
Head to toe.
Head to toe.
Head to toe.
Yes, Rebecca was very smart in choosing travel sizes for all of your upcoming adventures and
Yes.
travels.
Oh,
They can go in any
MG.
sort of
Stick them
purse.
in.
Yes, carry on. You
If I
will never
wasn't,
be.
if I wasn't having a full luggage before, I'm certainly having it now.
Thomas will just have to leave behind one pair of
One
shoes
thing.
and you'll be fine.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Head to toe.
So
Fab.
got
I
it all.
mean, it doesn't get better than this.
So this is First Aid Beauty, which if you've been around, you know Joy is obsessed with.
If they don't call soon, I mean, what a missed
We
opportunity.
are doing some marketing.
We're
for
doing
them.
the
Yes.
work.
Yeah.
We are doing the work, guys. This is great. I was just thinking to myself this morning, because I had a bunch of fab products that I didn't use because I was waiting to use my my little mini refrigerator that I got years ago, but
yes.
never had room to put it anywhere in my
Yes.
bathroom. So I had so many products that I was like, no, I'm going to do it all the way one day. And since using all the products like the toner, the eye cream, the different type of moisturizer, the primer for my makeup, I mean, it's probably been, how long have I been there for? A month and a half? I have noticed such a difference in my skin. It feels so clean. It
that's
feels so
great.
refreshed.
Yes.
I am not breaking out nearly. Granted, I stopped moving 50 minutes around New
I'm
Jersey.
somewhat at peace.
But I am really loving all my different products. So I'm just going to add this to my collection.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's
Love
take a closer
it.
look because
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
curious if you've tried all of these or if there's anything you haven't tried. So you definitely used the face cleanser before, right?
Which one is it?
That's that one, the face cleanser.
Yeah, this face cleanser is fantastic. I switched over to the red clay cleanser because it's really, really, you know what though? I probably don't need it because it's really for getting all of like the dirt, like even more
Yeah.
dirt off of you. But I'm wearing less makeup because my skin is so good.
Right, right,
So I
right.
don't need something that aggressive anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I probably will transfer back to this one actually.
or maybe that's like a once a week or
Yeah.
something thing.
and that's
the
way
red
more
clay.
expensive. So I'd rather do that one
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
often. Yeah.
Then this is the Ultra Repair Face Moisturizer.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic.
This is the Facial Radiance Pads, which I just started
Which you
using.
say, yeah.
They're
you have.
so good, but I haven't gotten them because they're pricey. So I love them though.
The Bump Eraser Body Scrub.
Yep.
I keep seeing that because they have that on sale a lot in like Marshalls and stuff like that. But I'm always like, oh, do I want to try it? And then I guess the smoothing body lotion kind of goes along with
I've never
with
used
that.
the lotion before.
Use them in combo.
Yes. Okay, so I'm excited
Me too.
Yeah.
for you to tell me what I should use next. Since now you have me using two of their
Exactly.
products. Now they don't have like a. I know that you have the one lip thing, but they don't have like a makeup brand, right?
Right.
Fab, like
Skincare.
product, just
Yeah.
skincare.
The closest thing they have is the primer.
Okay, well, come on.
Oh, I would buy all their makeup if
Like,
they had it.
What are you? You're holding out on us.
Yeah.
Like, let's
the
get
primer
to it.
has a slight tint
Okay.
that if you had like porcelain skin, you could probably get away with just
Okay.
wearing that. But there's not enough tint like under the eyes, so I would always be wearing something there. But it holds the makeup really well.
Okay.
Like really well. So
All right.
only good
nice.
things.
Well, hopefully they'll hear us somehow. Hear us. First Aid Beauty.
Yeah.
Put it in the
Yes.
hashtags.
All right, it's time for another
Here we go,
compliment.
Joy.
Time for another compliment. Oh boy.
Were I to compose a sonnet, no muse could offer such inspiration as your smile.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Anytime someone puts sonnet in any sort of sentence, you're like, yes.
That's just
My
how we
smile
feel
is
about
the
you.
muse.
Smile's gorgeous.
Those Italian lips. I love that one. That's beautiful.
She's gonna frame all of these. We should frame them.
I mean, if Lauren wrote them physically, they're
She
probably works of art.
did.
Yeah, don't even get me
They're
started.
Not that pretty, but
They're
don't even get me
gorgeous.
started. Okay, third layer
Da-da-da.
here.
Wow, what a self-indulgent day. Not complaining. Ooh, yes.
Okay, so-
Ooh, yes.
You had to get that, right?
Had to.
You just have to get that
Had
to
match your mug.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
Throw your book in there.
It matches perfectly.
Yeah.
Where am I going? Where am I going?
Europe.
Yeah, you're gonna carry that around with you, yes, and read your book. On the
Rifle
bench.
Paper Co. That's so
Yeah,
cute.
so both the mug and the bag are Rifle Paper Co. I love
is
them. They
beautiful.
always have super cute things. And I got these so long ago, the mug and the bag, that I was like, I have to get this for Joy.
Yep.
This is great.
I was like, it has Pride and Prejudice. It's a necessity.
Okay,
Ooh, okay. So if you know me, you know I'm wearing the Brazilian bum cream constantly. I think if you wear it, it creates more volume potentially. So I'll just do whatever I can do at this point.
Yeah. This is now for the second half
This
of your
scent, man,
I
it
know,
can't
vacation.
be beat.
I know.
Can't be beat. And I've never had the body wash, so I will be
I know. You should
layered.
just lather yourself in that whole entire
I will be layered.
combo.
And I love that it's all travel.
It's all
guys,
it's perfect.
I'm taking all of it.
Has
All
a cute little case. You don't have to
travel.
keep it, but you can at least put it in there.
Well, I feel
Waterproof.
thoroughly spoiled.
As you should.
As you should be.
As you should. All
I
right.
am feeling
We're not
great.
done quite yet. We have a few more questions and another compliment. So go ahead. Put those,
another compliment.
Put those away.
And another.
You will listen to your compliments. Okay, go ahead. Oh, this is mine. I'm
Want
supposed
me
to
to- yeah,
read,
it's-
right?
I can read it.
Go ahead, you read it.
Here we go.
It's not going to go in there.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one to end on. You are as charming as the finest gown at the ball.
That's what you always want it to be.
But how charming can gowns be? That's what I want to know.
Joy, take the
I'll
compliment.
take it. I'm charming.
All right.
I'm charming. I'm beautiful. My mouth is a muse.
Your air
and-
brings
smile.
life. Yeah.
and your presence breathes
and
life.
my presence.
Into objects.
My head is the size of this house
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
That is the way you should be feeling on your birthday
on my
week.
birthday.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna really put you on the spot.
Let's go.
Yes.
With some final questions. Okay. I think maybe since I'm putting you so on the spot, I'm gonna give you both questions.
Okay.
And you can decide what
I
you
was
want to
like,
answer
me?
first.
Okay.
And give yourself some time to think. Okay.
I'm ready.
So the first question that we have is if there were, and I don't think that there is, but if there is,
hopefully
it'll
there
be a
isn't.
surprise. If there were a Pride and Prejudice sequel,
No.
what would you want it to focus on?
Okay.
Like, where would you want the story to go?
Yeah.
And who are we?
Yeah.
What characters
Oh,
are we?
Who are we?
Not only are we answering both, but we are doing both with haste. Okay. So
She's ready.
Yeah, she's like, I know this.
Okay, so I believe there is a sequel to Pride and Prejudice. It's called Death at Pemberley, I think.
Oh God.
Can someone fact check that
Yeah,
real quick?
Let's fact check
It's
that.
not a real sequel. It's like someone made up the story.
Like
And after reading like the cliff notes of it, I was like, absolutely not. Like there's such a like it's Pride and Prejudice is almost like a fairy tale with that like perfect ending at the end of it, where you're like, don't mess with that. Like it's obviously not real. It's obviously too like it ends too perfectly for it to be real. But that's part of what a fairy tale is supposed to be like. So don't wreck it with a sequel. Like that is
Wreck it.
nonsense. Who am I wrong?
So you are correct. So it's actually a novel written by someone named P.D. James.
Okay.
It's called Death Comes to Pemberley.
Death Comes to Pemberley. Okay.
And then it was also turned in. So
was
the
turned
novel
into a
was
movie.
written in 2011. It was turned into a
Miniseries? Okay.
in 2013 that has one season. And it takes place 6 years after the events of Jane Austen's story. And it seems like it's actually more of like a murder mystery novel, historical
to
murder mystery
me
novel.
that is a completely
It's a
different,
very different
story.
departure, yeah.
Like Jane Austen's book is so, again, it's very humorous, it's very lighthearted, like there's deep themes and there's like some sketchy stuff that happens, but it's very, very, very almost like not taking itself too seriously, the story. Like it's a really, really fun, and it's even in the title, Death Comes to, it's like so not appropriate. So I'm just gonna say no. to sequel for
Just
that.
no.
Just know. You don't want
So there
a
was
single-
never anything when you finish, you're like, oh, I want more from this. I wish I could know what was happening here.
Which is bizarre because Elizabeth and Darcy, especially in the movie, it ends on their first kiss. Not their first kiss, but the one that you say, because they're married at that point. So obviously they've kissed before, but you finally see them and
together.
Show
and then
affection
it goes dark while they're like mid kiss, and you're just like, you feel so complete. you feel like this journey has come to the most perfect ending. I don't even want to know. Wow. Yeah,
Okay.
there is in the book. There is a prologue in the book where it gives you a little bit of more of the other characters, like what happened to them, like slightly, like a little bit, like Lydia, the one who ran off with Wickham, like he's destroyed with his finances, and then she's constantly writing, the sister's constantly writing her, asking for more money. So little things like that you get, that's all I need. I don't need a full-fledged sequel.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Not where I.
Yeah, I thought
that
she'd been like,
answer
okay,
was
so
gonna
we would
go.
have gone this route.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Who are we?
And we won't really know how offended we should be or not.
Yeah.
Because
This is why it's
we
great.
really-
Although I will ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, we'll be like, so what does this mean? I've
Yeah.
been deemed this character.
I'm actually gonna put myself in, only because it's my birthday and I can do whatever I want. I'm
Elizabeth?
gonna make myself Jane, because I do believe she is the most aspired to character in the book, even though Lizzie
Can you give us the
mostly is.
sisters' names again?
Jane is the oldest.
Okay.
She is much more reserved than Elizabeth, but she is like a heart of gold, heart of gold. Never thinks the wrong thing about anybody. Is always, but she's very naive because of that. She loves this man that she can't really show because she's not good at showing her emotions, and because of that she really loses him. And her sister Elizabeth, who they're best friends with, is so upset for her. Like, they love each other, but Elizabeth's so outspoken, so they're so different. Everyone wants to be Lizzie, but I aspire to be Jane because she's just like the epitome of beautiful inside and out, and I think it's a beautiful character. And Jane Austen typically, I think, writes her name for people who she actually thinks is the best character.
Okay. She's
I
like,
do
this
think
is
that,
actually
yeah.
the best character. That's actually really cool.
And I would call. Okay,
Just do it.
Remember
Joy.
how you're supposed to be the one with the heart of gold who never thinks the wrong thing about anyone that you said
I'm gonna
5 seconds ago?
I'm gonna give Lizzie to Rebecca.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, because I think you
Lizzie's
are.
just out there speaking her mind.
Yeah, you are bold. You are confident. Like, Lizzie's confidence is probably one of the most respected quality about her. She's just, she doesn't care what anyone says about her.
Okay.
She's just good to go.
She is riding horses in her bloomers.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing, Lizzie. If you say Lady Catherine, I will literally slap you on
Never.
camera.
Never. All right. You know what?
I feel like
you
I
did
feel like
this.
she's about to take a turn and I'm about to be a male character.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I was like, she's
You're Darcy, bro. You are Darcy, bro. Yes. Wow. For so many reasons, actually. Oh my God. You are literally Mr. Darcy. You are.
Will this forever affect our friendship? Probably.
This is my rationale. And of course, you put me on the spot, so I need more time to think about this.
Yeah,
But
of course.
Mr. Darcy, first of all, he comes in the room.
And you're just like,
The entire ball goes quiet.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
His presence is just, and everyone knows it.
Terrifying.
Terrifying, but
But-
not even confident. Just he's taking charge. Okay, and he's obviously extremely wealthy, and everyone knows it, so that's part of it too. But
Yeah.
When's that part coming?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go deep. That's
Do it.
funny, but I'm gonna go deep.
Do it.
People don't really know Lauren until they know Lauren, and I don't know if that is I don't think it's because Lauren's complex and super layered, but you just need to know Lauren. You just need to get her. And that doesn't happen unless you're like cultivating a relationship with her.
Yeah.
And who Lauren gives off like on stage or speaking to like a group of women is not the Lauren that we get here. It's a different version of Lauren. And sometimes I think people like Mr. Darcy, people look at the outward and who he is to the rest of the world and like, oh, that's Lauren. But then when you get to know Lauren.
Lauren.
Lauren's soft.
Sentimental.
I also think that we joke around with Lauren a lot because she doesn't typically grace people with lots of cuddly compliments all the time. Except today. It's my birthday.
I gave you compliments on scrolls.
Well, it's not in her nature. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not in your nature just to like throw flowers at people, and you know,
they're very
like,
specific times.
Because you want to see productivity, and Lauren's just more direct. And however, on the flip side of that, Lauren starts writing to you. And you feel like you're being,
touched by an angel.
You feel like you're being like
by an angel.
someone like swooned.
Yeah.
Someone is trying to.
It's the handwriting, it's the words all combined.
Which that is the thing that got Lizzie from
Yeah.
Mr. Darcy. Yeah. So I really see a lot of parallels actually, the more I think about it.
Had I known where this was going to end up,
You
I
would've
may
been
have
like-
not asked the question.
You should be like, what sister am I?
He also has a quote. Let me try and get it right. He says, my good opinion once lost is lost forever. I think that's kind of Lauren too.
That's so true. My good opinion's lost.
Okay.
But
Calm
also,
down.
Mr. Darcy is every woman's heartthrob.
Yeah,
so
so-
take that to heart too. Take that to heart.
Heartthrob.
Sure. I'll be the heartthrob. Well, if you want a way to find out all of the things your
Yes.
friends think of you, the good and the bad and the manly, I highly suggest this little exercise.
Yeah.
I would be really curious to see if we did ask ChatGPT, like,
Who-
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
how
yeah.
I would describe
Oh,
myself.
we gotta do that.
What it would spit
Yeah.
back.
I'm
at
tempted
us.
to pause the recording and do that just so we can get the results, actually.
Joy's like, I am the best one. So who should I be?
So who
Only
should I
because
be?
it's my birthday. I mean, God
me.
forbid
My
it actually come out today.
smile lights the morning sun.
My teeth are muse.
So who should I be?
So funny. So funny. Guys, this was fantabulous.
This was a very fun way to end the birthday week.
Thank you guys.
I don't know
appreciate it.
how, like, where do we go for our birthdays next year? I don't
I know.
even, like, it's
What
downhill.
happens? Yeah.
I
That's
think
for
we
sure.
just act like they're not happening.
Yeah.
Listen, we thought that, last year was it. And then we're like, well, we're going to go simple and we're going to give each other a week's worth of birthday
Yeah.
activities. So maybe we just,
We will find a way to outdo ourselves.
something will happen.
Somehow.
We won't even try to do
Maybe
it. It
we'll
just
take
will
you on the
happen.
road. Maybe we'll take you on the road with us.
Yes,
Joy?
that's
Maybe
always
it'll be
the
an
answer.
experience.
That's
Yeah.
always the answer. Well, Joy, we hope you feel
So much love.
so much love
I
getting to
really
nerd
do.
out this week.
They never let me do this any other time.
Maybe this will really benefit us because people will have fallen asleep during the episodes and our episodes will just start looping and they'll play all night.
Yeah.
Rack up those views, baby.
Yeah. There you
What
go.
it'll take. So silver lining
Whatever we
there.
can do.
Mamma mia.
But thank you for joining us for this week of celebration. We learned a lot
I
more
learned
about
so
Joy.
much. I just took a literature class.
I'm so glad.
I feel
British literature.
Yes,
glad.
I might even give it a shot. So let us know if Pride and Prejudice is on your favorite list or do not read.
Yep.
Or if we've changed your mind this week and maybe you're willing to give it a chance. But we're coming back next week. We are going to wrap up our series on all things spring cleaning and all that good stuff. And then we have a lot of fun summer content coming to you.
Yeah.
So don't forget to enjoy the view wherever your ride takes you.